Hi, I'm Cassie.
I'm Taylor.
And we're here today to give you an awesome review of some Sigma brushes. Now, a lot of you have probably heard of the Extravaganza Gold Collection. Well, today we have the Extravaganza Chrome Collection. Comes in this cute little case, just like the gold, except for it's black. And it's got like chrome colored lettering or whatever. But all the brushes are the same as in the gold collection. They also have a copper collection out now too. It comes with brushes with very, very, very soft bristles. This is the tapered face brush, the F25. Very soft. Love this. I actually used this today for my blush, and it worked fabulously. Love it. This is actually probably my favorite brush right now. What would you say?
It is. You fell in love with it the first time you used it.
And then, of course, you've got the powder blush brush, which is the F10. It's kind of pinched down here. I guess if you got smaller cheeks or whatever, it would work really well. I, on the other hand, have quite big cheeks. But it is very soft, just like the tapered one.
I think all the brushes from Sigma are pretty soft, though.
Yeah, they are. Extremely, which is awesome. Don't mind that knock. That's just my son. But yeah, and then you've got the small contour brush. I use this one today also to do my contour. Worked out actually extremely well. And I actually normally use, just a second, let me get it. I actually normally use this little kabuki. And I got it from Sephora's. I cannot pronounce the name of this, which
like Japanese or something.
which is okay, but y'all might be able to see that. Okay. I usually use this for a contour. Kind of gets in there really well. But
she can apply and blend at the same time with it.
Yes, you can. It's an awesome brush. I love it. Like I said, it's an angled kabuki. However, I do like the Sigma better. I don't know why, but it just feels like it gets down in that contour a lot better. Let's see here. The next one in here is the tapered highlighter brush, which is the F35. I did use this today also, and mind you, I just got this kit today, so this is our first review on it. We use it just for the highlight, just right around there, to highlight the cheekbones, and it actually worked very well. I don't think I have it here with me today, but I normally just use the tip of like my angled blush brush. Didn't like doing that very well. So this worked a lot better for me.
You could even use your kabuki for it.
Yeah, I have been known to use my kabuki to do my highlight before I usually do my contour. I'll do my highlight first with my kabuki, so that way I'm not getting all that brown junk on there.
The kabuki is small enough to get into the highlighting areas too.
Yes, it is. It's fabulous. But then we have the large angled contour, which is the F40. Do y'all see that? It's just an angled brush. You could use this for like an angled blush brush. I don't usually like to use these for contouring. The reason why, honestly, I'm not very good at contouring. But I mean, you can get it into your contours just fine. But I don't know. To me, it gives you a very, very sharp line. And I honestly do not like a sharp contour on my face because it's a little bit more round than most people. So I like more of the rounder contour brushes.
Every brush is very versatile. You can use it on pretty much anything on your face.
Yes, definitely. You know, it's just like with the large tapered brush, you can use that to apply powder. You can use it to every. This next brush is the F60 foundation brush. This is another one of those brushes that can be versatile. I usually don't like using these for a foundation brush, but here is what I will use it for. I will use it for a very large concealer brush. The reason why I won't use these for a foundation brush is because they're very flimsy. This one is actually a lot less flimsy than some of them that we have used. Like this one this one's the e.l.f. See how flimsy that is? If you were to take that onto your face, it's like literally using a paintbrush, which is the whole point of it. This one, it is a little bit stiffer, which you probably won't get as many lines or anything with this. So it probably worked really well for those of you who love foundation brushes, honestly.
You actually use the egg for your foundation a lot too.
And I do. I have been using this beautiful little beauty blender. This works fabulously. I have extremely super dry skin. And when I mean like super extremely dry skin, I mean like it is so horribly dry that my face literally looks like an alligator sometimes. So I just get this wet and I use this and just, blend it all around. It's beautiful. I love it. It actually does give me a airbrush look.
Finished.
I actually do have an airbrush machine. And I honestly prefer to use this over my airbrusher any day. Why? Because it gives me the same result, and you don't have to worry about pulling that trigger too hard. If you pull the trigger too hard, you get a big blotch of foundation just right there. And nobody wants that. But this, I love it. It was $20 at Sephora's. Must have of all time.
Another thing with this brush, whenever you're putting on foundation, is you can't buff. It's only to paint it on, honestly. And you recommended to do small strokes with it. It's very difficult, and it feels like you're trying to paint a canvas, which your face, yes, it's a canvas, but these, I don't like it for foundation at all.
We're a little smoother than a canvas.
Yes, a canvas is more rough than a face is. So I wouldn't recommend using it for foundation, but if you like it, then you can.
Toss them. It's my recommendation. Toss them. Use them for your painting, not for your face.
I wouldn't recommend it. I honestly use a brush that is bigger so I can put it on, pat it, and then blend at the same time. That way I don't have too much on my face. Whereas these, you can actually put a lot on your face.
Just like this brush from Sephora's. Good brush for the price. But it's actually a mineral powder brush. And it actually works really well. All you gotta do is just pat it on and then buff it in. It works great. There's others in this collection that'll do the same thing. And we'll get to that in just a second. Let me get this put away. Okay, so that was the foundation brush. Again, large concealer brush because I'm not painting. And I'm not good at painting canvases either, so.
No, that's my job.
Okay. So the inside of this looks like that, and you get, yeah, you can see it. Okay. There's these little black flaps. It covers your brushes, brush heads, and everything. It's awesome. So you got all your face brushes here. And you got eye brushes, and then your face brushes again. I think we'll start doing 2 at a time so that way we can try to shorten this video a little bit. The next 2 brushes I've got are the E20 and the E30. The E20 is the short shader brush.
Love, love, love the short shaders.
Yes. I use this brush to get right in there in the brow line. And please excuse my brows. I did not fill them in today. I was lazy. But you can get right in there into the arch and highlight your eyebrows with them. I love that brush for that. If you have smaller eyes, like most of us do, It works really good for packing on the collar right in there. And then the
E30.
Was it the E30 pencil. This, I'm sure everybody knows what it's for, but just in case you don't, you can get right down there with some eyeshadow, blend in your eyeshadow to your eyeliner, what have you. This is the bestest friend you'll ever have. You can do extremely detailed crease with it. You can do that V for the socket right there with it and blending it with it. This is also one of your versatile brushes. I use this all the time. I have another one.
The colors.
Yes, I have a MAC knockoff from eBay. Hate it, honestly. It's supposed to be a pencil brush, but it's not. It is nothing like this. And if you can see the head on that, okay, it is nothing like that. But the knockoff I have is very good for actually lining, honestly. And if they would actually make an eyeliner brush like that, I think I'd spend 20 bucks just to get it. And then we've got the Tapered Blending E40. Very fluffy, large, rounded head. Love it. I actually used this today to do an all-over wash of color. And then I did some crease color, but I didn't do it with this. And I would say if you wanted to do like an all-over final blend, this would work really well. But basically, just a blending brush. I love it. I think everybody should have maybe 2 or 3 of these in their kit.
It's always good to have extra brushes too. And
Yeah.
especially if you're, instead of, some people get the sprays to clean their brushes out, get all the germs and everything off of them. If you're deep cleaning your brushes, you don't want to, make them hurry up and dry. It's good to have an extra set. That way,
Yeah,
those are drying, you can actually do your makeup at the same time.
definitely. Definitely. Okay, the E45, the small tapered blending brush.
Amazing. I love blending brushes.
I love this one. I used this one today for my crease. All I did was just blend that color right in there into my crease. And I didn't need another brush to do it. That was what was amazing about it.
A lot of times you have to use 2-3 brushes and you get frustrated with it and you're like, I'm not doing it. Which, if
Yeah.
they have, brushes like this is perfect for when you're frustrated with it.
Yeah.
You have one brush, you can do, 3 things at once with one brush.
Yeah, especially if, not a lot of people have a very big budget. So they go and get the e.l.f. brushes, which is fine because I started off with e.l.f. brushes. And they were good, but I did have to get 2 or 3 of them to do what I needed to do to make the looks that I needed. But you can see the bristles on that. It's very tapered. I love it. Love it. Don't mind that person right there. Right? Right there. That's my scary, scary, scary brother-in-law. But yeah. And that's my son. Smile. Okay.
He's like, I don't want to.
So he's not having any part of us. Okay. So the next 2 brushes are shader brushes. The E55 and the E60. As you can tell, the E60 is a lot bigger.
Especially and longer.
Yes. If you have larger eyes, this is great for packing on color. And I don't really consider myself with large eyes, but I can actually pretty well get down in there with just that brush. It's kind of cool. This one, I don't know, I think it may be a little too fat.
I mean,
Too fat, I guess, for mine, because
you see,
I have very, very inset corners.
you need, especially with a lot of people, there's people who do just browns for their shades, and then they want to add a little bit of gold into it. Those brushes would not be very...
You can get right in there with this, into your corner, for a little bit of pop of color. For people with smaller lids, they can just pat it on there. But it's a very good brush. It's very dense, and pretty stiff. There's really not much give in there. And then this one is not as stiff, or not as dense, excuse me. But it is a rather stiff brush. Great for packing on color.
And it all depends on you too, on what type of brush you want to use for your eyes. You don't have to use what we use.
Exactly. The next one is an F75 concealer. It's one of a, I would say probably a medium concealer brush. You can get right around your nose with it.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, larger spots.
Females, we get the hormonal red around our noses and in our cheeks and on our forehead. And that is perfect to cover around the nose.
Yeah.
Even on, little areas in the forehead.
Spots right here. Oh, perfect. And again, it is very stiff. So you're not going to have to worry about like the foundation brush. A lot of streaking or whatever. It's going to blend in very well. I did not use this for my concealer today. Just so you know. But I will probably tomorrow. Just to test it out. And then this one is the F65 large concealer brush. So I guess the foundation brush would actually be kind of an extra large concealer brush. But it's okay. With this one, it's good for like, say you have some rosacea on your cheek, you know, you can get along that a lot better. You know, extra coverage. I usually, my chin, it tends to be super red sometimes. You can probably see it. It's a little bit red today. All I used was a BB cream today. So, you know, I'd use that on my chin to conceal that redness. Just when I need a little bit extra concealer. Pretty good brush. Very dense. Very stiff. Love it. Love it.
Another thing with this case, like yes, the flaps will cover the bristles, but I would recommend getting covers for your bristles so they hold their shape.
Yes, bristle guards, definitely, because you might be able to see it on the face brush flap anyway. When you're trying to put your brushes back in here, there's not a lot of room between the bristle heads. So, you can get a lot of bristles that are dragged down by putting other brushes back in or whatever. So, yes, definitely I would get a brush guard to help prevent that and also keep your bristles shaped after you clean and they're dry and everything to put them back in here. Definitely good point. And I'm not going to take them all out because we pretty much all know what these are going to be used for. Here's another blending brush. Big fluffy blending brush. The E25 blending brush. And then you've got your angled blending shader brush. I can't talk today. And then you got another small concealer brush right here. You got your angled, and I will talk about this one. Because, do I have one to compare it to? Yes, I do, right here. I'm going to talk about this one because as you can see, it's actually a very small head on this. Excuse me. Very angled, very light. This one is my MAC knockoff.
It looks like a paintbrush, honestly.
It's a larger head, not as defined of an angle. And I find this very, very hard to use. The reason being because I have extremely long eyelashes, but my eyelash line or whatever isn't as predominant as most people's. And this just seems a little too big for what I need to do. This, on the other hand, so you can see, this is like double the size.
Whereas this one, honestly, especially on your bottom lash, a lot of people don't like using eyeliner. If you take black eyeshadow, this is, a good way to get into your eyelashes to have that dark under eye. Whereas you don't have to have, eyeliner. Or there's a lot of people who are allergic to eyeliners and can't use them. This, for
definitely
eyeshadow, is perfect to get into your eyelashes.
Yeah.
It's small, you can get into, every little crevice with it. It's very nice. It's actually
Definitely.
an E65.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, with this, as you can see, I can get in there so much better and easier than I could with the other one. So I am kind of in love with this one right now. This other one, I'm not
even.
I really don't think I'm really a fan of this one. It's meant to be a push liner brush, as you can see. Now this, I think, is just a little too large. Again, too wide this way to actually get in there and push it in. For somebody with larger eyes or, you know, wider eyes, could probably work with this. But I don't know, it just gets in the way. Yeah, it just gets in the way, really.
I might use it, but honestly, the smaller brush is a lot easier to use. You don't have to worry about too much product getting on your brush or, you know, having too much on your eyes.
Okay. Now, the next ones up are the eyeliner brushes. This one is the small eyeliner brush, and this one is the regular one.
Love the points on
You
it.
can definitely see the difference. Okay. There is major points
Love,
on these
love,
brushes.
love.
They are very stiff, not too much give, but not so stiff you can't move it and have a perfect glide either. Again with that one, it's a good stiff, yes. It's good stiff, but yet it's not stiff enough to where you can't just have a perfectly good glide.
You'll have
Sorry
to
about
excuse
that.
us. We've been sick, sinus infections, and so on and so forth.
It's not fun.
We've been miserable, so.
Oh, I gotta get my little covers.
The covers are a very, very good thing for your brushes. I will repeat myself. You don't want your brushes to fray or anything like that. Even when you're a painter, you don't want that. So, you know,
Especially
covering your
when
brushes.
you're spending this kind of money for a kit. And we will get to that very important question in a minute.
Ooh, I love this one.
Me too. Do we ever, ladies, have problems with needing to redo your lipstick while you're at work, out at the club, whatever, but you can't bring your lip brush with you because all the shit that's in your purse, excuse me, is going to get all over your bristles? This problem is solved.
Oh, yes. The cap.
If I can get it off. Okay, there we go. And you just put the lid right there,
It
and there's your handle.
doubles as your handle. It's really good. And it doesn't fall off. You can wiggle it, you know,
Nice
spin it
round
around,
brush.
and it doesn't fall off. It's actually very nice.
Yes. It's a very nice round brush. I'm not going to get it all up in my lipstick right now, but, you know, you can, or maybe I will. You know, you can get it right in there, and it's thin enough. I don't know if you can exactly see,
It's really thin.
but yeah. I mean, it's thin enough you can even, you know, get your lips lined with it, honestly. Which I think is what a good lip brush needs to be able to do.
Line and color.
Yes.
Another thing is, you know, girls a lot of times when they go to the club, they have on, you know, lipsticks.
Okay.
Well,
Let's just throw it around. Hey, and guess what? Nothing's going on it.
you know,
It's perfect.
girls who go to the clubs, they love, you know, love to wear lipsticks. This is a
Love, love, love,
perfect
love.
thing to take with you if you want to fix your lipsticks after taking a drink or anything like that. You can just, you know, even if you have a handheld wallet, this would actually fit in it. It's really
It
not
would.
that big.
It
It's
really would.
Nice. It's the perfect size, honestly. And the cap doubles as a handle. You know, who would have thought about that? It's
awesome. Okay, now we're gonna go through these next ones pretty fast because honestly, we've all seen them. There's nothing too spectacular about them, except for the fact that they're extremely soft. Okay, but as we all know, Sigma, their brushes are awesome. Anyways, they're very soft. They don't shed. I have been playing with these, and I have not had one of these brushes shed. Not once yet. They're solid. But anyway, here's all of the dual fiber brushes. You got a nice tapered one. That's for powder and blush. I would honestly use this for like a cream brush, or actually any of these for my cream products. You get your large dual fiber, which is the F50. The tapered one is the F15, and the small duo fiber is the F55. You can use this one for like a cream bronzer or a cream highlight.
Do you have it over here?
Whatever you might want to do it. Like I said, this one could be for blush or whatever. You can even use this one, honestly, for a highlight.
God, here.
And then the foundation, you know, plug it on, buff it in. The white actually feels a bit scratchy on the face, but it could be just because I have extremely sensitive skin. Yeah. And then there's this big fluffy brush, which is the large fluff, the E50. And I use this brush to set my concealer under my eye.
Ooh, she was having so much fun with these brushes today, just to let you guys know.
Yeah, if you want a complete wash of color, you could whoop, and it's done. Honestly,
Perfect.
this is probably your most versatile brush in this collection. You could contour your nose with it, you know. So much things you could do. You could also use this for highlight. You know, highlight chin, contour your lip, whatever you want.
It's
That's
amazing.
what it's here for. Just an extra brush, basically. Which is awesome. Who don't like extra brushes, right?
Ooh.
Okay.
Good catch.
And then you get your large powder brush.
These brushes are the softest brushes I have found myself. Honestly, they
Look
are.
at that. I mean, come on.
Sigma
Who wouldn't
is
want to rub that on their face?
Sigma's
Beautiful.
brushes. Very good.
And then you got your large powder brush. Again.
Which, another thing too, with the powder brushes, we don't really use powder. We use setting powder, you know, to finish.
Sometimes.
But, you know,
Sometimes I don't.
you know, honestly, you could use those to set your liquid foundation. It's okay. You can use the brushes for that. It's not going to hurt them any. You can clean it. It's okay.
Which is what you're supposed to do with them, right? But yeah. Don't be afraid of powder. Get some powder on the brush. Tap it off. And just pat. You don't have to go like this.
You're not
just pat.
sweeping your face. Pat.
If you pat, after you tap, you won't get a large amount of powder caked all over your face.
Nobody likes the cakey look.
No. But just pat the excess off. The color that you need is going to stay right there on that brush. They do hold a tremendous amount of color or product. So yeah, just pat it, tap it, and then just pat it. You know, and you'll get that shine off a lot better with less product. I guarantee you every time. Don't be afraid of your powders.
Another thing, when you guys get your box, you have this neat little thing from Sigma, and it has every brush set that they have so far, all the kits, and then when you open it up all the way, every single brush that Sigma has created so far,
Up to date,
is on this. So, you know, if you're looking, you know, you order something and you're not really sure if you like it, honestly, I'd recommend going with Sigma. I mean, you can see, it shows you even the prices of the kits underneath of them. You know, there's different sets, you know, they have all these different sets in here. There's, you know, so many brushes that you can use. But honestly, I recommend everybody, you know, to get Sigma if you're going to use brushes to do your makeup.
yeah, definitely. Okay, now let's try to wrap this up. We're already a half hour into this. Didn't mean for this to go so long, but what can I say? It happens, especially when you're got a loud mouse like us. Okay. Okay. So again, the case is all white. You got the chrome lettering, unlike the gold collection that we all are so very familiar with. Now, price of this. Honestly, not so bad when you take in consideration that the gold collection is almost $500.
$490 for the complete kit of the 18 karat gold.
$500 right there. After shipping, probably $505, something like that, because shipping, standard shipping in the US is $10.05. So yeah, this is a remarkable deal. $389.
And 5 cents. I mean,
And
who
5
would-
cents is what I paid for this. That was including shipping.
That's $100 difference. That's nice, especially for somebody who doesn't want to break their budget.
Exactly. That is 29 brushes for $13.50.
Now
Do
think
the
about
math.
that.
Do the math. I'm going to do the math for you. If you were to get the E25 blending brush in the gold collection, it's $15. Just buying it by itself, it's $12, yes. But here is what's going to give you an idea of why they're $1.50 more than just the straight out brush. You're not having to buy this extra. It comes with your kit. You buy this extra, you're spending, what was it, $30?
Something like that.
I think. I'll have to check. But yeah, this would be extra. If you were to buy all the brushes individually, you'd have to pay for this. They're not just going to give it to you. Unless you get this kit. That's why it's $13.50 a brush, basically. Honestly, it's not bad.